In 1968, gold miners working the frozen ground near Fairbanks, Alaska, hit something that stopped their hydraulic excavators cold. Bones. Massive bones locked in permafrost that hadn't thawed in 12,000 years. At first, they did what any reasonable person would do when finding large bones in Alaska. They assumed grizzly. The region was full of Ice Age bear fossils, nothing unusual. But when paleontologists arrived from the University of Alaska and began measuring, something was off. The bones were the wrong shape. The leg proportions didn't match the stocky, powerful build researchers cataloged from thousands of modern bear skeletons. Then came the shock. These weren't grizzly legs at all. They were the legs of something built to run, and not just any bear. This was Arctodus simus. See, Fairbanks isn't just any fossil site. It's a time capsule, a complete Pleistocene ecosystem frozen by sudden burial and permafrost. Mammoth tusks, still showing growth rings. Bison skulls with horn sheaths, preserved intact. Ground sloth bones with connective tissue fragments still attached. Entire layers of compressed grass, identifiable down to the species, sealed in ice, and buried in that frozen earth, surrounded by the bones of megafauna that no longer exist anywhere on the planet, was the skeleton of the largest predatory land mammal North America has ever produced. As researchers excavated more sites, La Brea tar pits in California, caves in Missouri, river deposits in Texas, one thing became undeniable. Short-faced bear fossils weren't rare. They were everywhere. Wherever they turned up, the pattern repeated. Long legs, massive skulls, and an ecosystem that simply doesn't exist anymore. When the team first ran the measurements, they couldn't believe the numbers. They measured again, convinced they'd made an error. Same result. The femur was 30% longer relative to body size than any living bear species. At sites across the continent, the fossils were consistent. What emerged was a portrait of an animal so unusual, it instantly forced scientists to rethink what Ice Age North America actually looked like. Because if this bear existed, then the world it inhabited must have been radically different from anything we see today. The short-faced bear was absurdly large. Conservative estimates put it at 2,000 pounds. How do scientists even figure out the size of an extinct With so much water locked up in glaciers miles thick, sea levels dropped 400 feet. Entire continental shelves that are underwater today became exposed land. Precipitation plummeted worldwide. And without the moisture to sustain forests, grasslands exploded across the northern hemisphere. This was the Mammoth Steppe, cold, dry prairie stretching unbroken from Alaska to Spain, from Siberia to Kansas. Not barren tundra. Modern tundra is wet, boggy, and supports almost no large animals. The Mammoth Steppe was productive grassland supporting the highest density of megafauna Earth has ever known. Everywhere you looked, giants. Colombian mammoths weighing 10 tons, moving in herds hundreds strong. Steppe bison with 6-foot horn spans that would dwarf modern buffalo. Giant ground sloths the size of elephants, browsing on shrubs with claws as long as machetes. Horses, not the domestic horses we know today, but wild steppe horses built like draft animals, massive and muscular. Camels, yes, camels, in North America, towering over modern dromedaries. Musk, oxen, elk, caribou, all in numbers that would make modern wildlife populations look like scattered remnants. Scientists estimate the Mammoth Steppe supported a biomass, the total weight of living animals per square kilometer, higher than the modern Serengeti at its absolute peak. We're talking about an ecosystem so rich you could stand on a hillside and see literally thousands of megafauna in a single panoramic view. It was a cold desert prairie, unimaginably productive, covering more land area than any ecosystem on Earth today. And in this world, the short-faced bear wasn't an anomaly. It was a logical inevitability. But size alone doesn't explain this bear. Plenty of Ice Age predators were huge. Saber-toothed cats weighing 600 pounds. American lions larger than modern African lions. Dire wolves hunting in coordinated packs of a dozen or more. What made the short-faced bear different was its niche. And to understand that, you have to look at the predator guild as a whole. See, the Mammoth Steppe supported at least 4 apex predators simultaneously, all competing for the same prey base. That's unusual. Modern ecosystems rarely support more than 1 or 2 apex predators in the same territory. African lions dominate the Serengeti. Siberian tigers dominate the taiga. But the Mammoth Steppe had saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, American lions, and short-faced bears, all operating in overlapping ranges. How did they coexist? Niche partitioning. Each predator specialized in a different hunting strategy. Saber-toothed cats were ambush specialists, targeting thick-skinned megafauna with precision throat bites. Their massive canines could pierce through hide that would dull normal teeth. Dire wolves were endurance hunters, running down prey in coordinated packs over miles of open ground. American lions used raw power and speed for short, explosive chases across open terrain. And the short-faced bear? Analysis of its skeleton reveals something extraordinary. Those long legs weren't built for explosive charges or ambush. They were built for efficient walking. Biomechanical models suggest it could cover 20 to 30 miles per day without significant energy expenditure. Its foot structure was unusual toes pointing straight forward rather than the pigeon-toed stance of modern bears. This made for a more direct, energy-efficient gait. But what was it walking toward? Chemical analysis of its bones provides the answer. Researchers can analyze bone collagen and determine what an animal ate based on carbon and nitrogen isotope ratios. When they tested short-faced bear bones from multiple sites across North America, the results were remarkably consistent. This bear consumed a diet dominated by animal protein, horses, bison, camels. It fed at a higher trophic level than any modern bear species. At 2,000 pounds, it needed 15,000 to 20,000 calories daily. One adult bison every 4 days. How did it obtain that much meat reliably? The fossil evidence provides critical clues. Short-faced bear skulls have massive nasal passages, far larger proportionally than modern bears. And in the animal kingdom, oversized nasal passages indicate one thing: exceptional sense of smell. Modern grizzlies can smell carrion from over a mile away. Polar bears can detect seals through 3 feet of solid ice. If this bear had nasal passages twice the size of a grizzly's, it could plausibly detect blood from 5, maybe 10 miles away under favorable wind conditions. And on the open, windswept Mammoth Steppe with nothing to block airflow, scent carried for incredible distances across flat terrain. The leading hypothesis, the short-faced bear, was a specialized kleptoparasite. It didn't hunt, it stole. Its body was optimized for walking long distances daily, following its nose toward kills made by other predators. When it arrived standing 12 feet tall on its hind legs with jaws capable of crushing bone, smaller predators simply abandoned their meals. Fossil evidence supports this. At sites where short-faced bear remains are abundant, other large carnivore fossils are noticeably scarcer. Not because the bear hunted them, but because they learned to avoid territories where a 2,000-pound competitor would routinely steal their kills. It was systematic theft, a lifestyle built on intimidation, sustained by the richest ecosystem Earth has known. So, if this bear was so well adapted to its environment, so successful at exploiting the richest ecosystem on Earth, why isn't it still around? The answer is both simple and devastating. The Mammoth Steppe collapsed, and when it did, the entire predator guild collapsed with it. Around 12,000 years ago, Earth's climate underwent a rapid, catastrophic shift. The Pleistocene ended, the Holocene began, and in less than 1,000 years, a geological eye blink, global temperatures rose by 5 to 7 degrees Celsius. Ice sheets melted, sea levels surged 400 feet, drowning the exposed continental shelves. And most critically for the Mammoth Steppe, precipitation increased dramatically. With more moisture in the atmosphere, the cold, dry grasslands couldn't survive. Trees moved in, taking advantage of the increased rainfall. Forests replaced prairies. Wetlands spread across former grasslands. The Mammoth Steppe, that unbroken grassland empire stretching from Europe to Alaska, splintered into fragmented patches and then vanished entirely within a few thousand years. And with it, the entire megafauna community disappeared. Mammoths died out by 10,000 years ago on the mainland. Horses vanished completely from North America. Camels, ground sloths, steppe bison, all extinct within a geological instant. The biomass of the continent plummeted. Where there had been thousands of megafauna visible from a single hillside, there were now scattered populations of smaller deer and elk living in dense forests. The predator guild collapsed simultaneously. Saber-toothed cats went extinct. Dire wolves disappeared. American lions vanished. And the short-faced bear, dependent on stealing from predators that no longer existed, found itself with nothing to steal. An apex kleptoparasite with no kills to appropriate, simply starved. Meanwhile, smaller, more flexible bears survived. Grizzlies that could digest plants, fish, and hibernate through lean winters. Black bears that could climb trees and adjust their ranges. These generalists didn't need the Mammoth Steppe. The short-faced bear did. The last confirmed fossils date to 11,000 years ago. After that point, nothing. No bones in later geological deposits, no evidence of survival in isolated refugia. Just complete, total absence from the fossil record. And yes, the short-faced bear died not from predation, not from disease, not from competition with a superior predator. It died because the planet warmed by 5 to 7 degrees Celsius over 1,000 years. That's all it took. A small shift in global climate, and the largest land predator, North America, has known simply stopped existing. And that should make us think. Because climate doesn't just shape ecosystems, it defines the upper and lower limits of what life is even possible. The short-faced bear was a creature perfectly adapted to a world that no longer exists. For 800,000 years, it dominated the Mammoth Steppe, towering over every other predator. But that world was built on a precise set of climate conditions: cold temperatures, low precipitation, stable grasslands. And when those conditions shifted by just a handful of degrees, the largest bear that ever lived simply ran out of options. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished, leaving behind only bones and questions. If this story made you think, drop a comment.